You know, sometimes a friendship between nations doesn't crash with bombs, not with wars, not with fights. It breaks with a single conversation, a meeting that goes wrong, a moment when someone refuses to shake hands. And tonight, we're diving into something that shocked the diplomatic world, something intense, something that got under Trump's skin. Because when Donald Trump speaks, whether you love him or hate him, governments listen. And this time, he didn't go after a nation. He didn't attack a policy. He called out a person, one Indian leader. In Trump's own words, that one man wrecked the US-India friendship. So who is this individual? What happened in those private government meetings? And how did a single moment of standing firm shift the direction of a major alliance? This isn't just about international relations. This is about pride, respect, influence, and the emergence of an Indian foreign policy that won't bow down. This is about one diplomat who stood his ground and forced America to pay attention. So stay locked in, turn your focus up, and stick with this until the finish. Because once you understand what really went down, you won't see US-India relations the same way ever again. It wasn't that long ago when the world saw India as a developing nation, a nice way of saying not important. They saw packed cities, economic challenges, and political mess. What they didn't see was something much more dangerous, a drive to climb up. Today, India isn't just playing in the global economy, it's leading parts of it. According to the International Monetary Fund and World Bank reports, India stands as the fastest growing major economy on the planet. Its economic growth is outpacing world powers like Germany, Japan, and yes, even the United States. While other nations are dealing with economic slowdowns and stagnation, India's investing, constructing, and expanding. From Mumbai's financial markets to Bangalore's technology hubs, money is moving. More than 50,000 startup companies have emerged since 2014, making India the third biggest startup environment globally. This isn't just about mobile apps or billion-dollar companies. It's about a whole generation declaring, "We don't want to work for others, we'll build our own industries." While the world fought through pandemic aftermath, India transformed into a medical manufacturing giant, shipping medicines to more than 95 countries. While price increases hurt the Western world, India kept energy costs stable through smart international relationships. And now India is signing major agreements with Britain, United Arab Emirates, Australia, and even working on special access deals with European markets. That's not just survival, that's smart planning. This is no longer the India of low-cost workers. This is the India of intelligent investment, of companies worth billions, digital payment systems, and clean energy transformations. And the Western world, they're paying attention because they understand when 1.4 billion people start succeeding, there's no stopping it. Sometimes all it needs is one person. Not an entire military, not a mass movement, just one individual strong in belief, clear in values, and solid in truth to change the thinking of a country and shake up the balance of world power. This isn't made up. This is exactly what took place when one Indian diplomat sat face to face with one of the most unpredictable and influential leaders the world has witnessed, Donald J. Trump, and he didn't back down. Trump, the man who created his business empire on loyalty, attention, and control, was used to entering a room and commanding it, people agreeing, everyone matching his pace. But not this time, because sitting at that table was Dr. S. Jaishankar, India's External Affairs Minister, a person of careful words but enormous influence. And in that moment, in a critical room filled with government officials and demands, one thing became obvious. India wasn't there to submit. It was there to be respected. Donald Trump created news headlines not because of a new policy, not because of a public speech, but because of something deeply personal. He told the world that one Indian individual, not Modi, not India as a whole, but one Indian diplomat had ruined US-India relations. And that single statement, it wasn't just a complaint, it was a confession. It showed us that world politics isn't just about contracts or strategies. It's about individuals, ego, respect, and feelings. Trump didn't feel dismissed by a country, he felt rejected by a person. And when someone like Trump feels rejected, he doesn't let it go. Let's be honest here. Trump wasn't angry about import taxes or defense contracts. He was angry that someone dared to tell him no, that someone was S. Jaishankar. This is where the mindset change starts, because for many years, India played the quiet partner. Cooperative, polite, agreeable. The West got comfortable with the India that listened more than it spoke, the India that waited for an invitation to the important meetings. But this generation of Indian diplomacy, it's different. It doesn't ask permission. It takes positions. It doesn't try to please everyone. It protects interests. And when Trump's team walked into that meeting expecting quick agreements, fast compromises, admiration, even what they received was clarity, calm, confidence, and an unapologetic refusal. India didn't reject partnership, it rejected pressure. Jaishankar wasn't rude, he was firm, he wasn't emotional, he was strategic. He didn't challenge Trump as a person, he challenged the assumption that India could be managed, controlled, or softened. And that right there, that quiet resistance shook the room because the strongest power isn't the one that shouts, it's the one that doesn't look away. Trump succeeds through control. His foreign policy isn't built on institutions, it's built on personal chemistry, admiration, obedience. So when Jaishankar held his position, when he calmly protected India's independence and interests, it wasn't just diplomacy, it was disruption. That one act, saying India won't bend, wasn't meant to insult Trump, but to Trump that felt personal. And that's what caused the shift. That's what made Trump step back from India, not because of trade, not because of defense, but because someone refused to validate his worldview. Jaishankar became the symbol of a new India, an India that doesn't fear losing favor, an India that values dignity over deals. This moment matters more than people understand because every generation sees a few leaders who aren't loud, but they're stronger in silence, who don't fight but still win, who don't raise their voices but raise their nation's standing. Jaishankar didn't make this personal, but he didn't let it become a show either. He understood one thing. You don't represent a country by flattering others, you represent it by standing for it. This is why mindset matters, not just for diplomats, not just for politicians, but for you. Because in your life too, you will enter rooms where people expect you to shrink, to agree, to stay quiet. And in those moments, your power won't be in how loudly you speak. It will be in how firmly you stand. That's what Jaishankar taught the world. And that's what India today is teaching every rising nation, every young professional, every underestimated individual. You don't have to fight loud to be strong. You just have to know who you are. So the next time someone questions your place at the table, the next time you feel pressure to compromise just to be accepted, remember this moment. One man, one voice, one stand changed everything. Because that's how mindsets shift. That's how nations rise. And that's how one quiet voice can echo across the entire world. Trump's method of operating isn't secret. Loyalty, respect, admiration, or get out. And if someone challenges that, he doesn't just walk away. He remembers, he reacts. What we witnessed wasn't just a policy break. It was an emotional shift. Meet the man who held his ground, Dr. S. Jaishankar, India's External Affairs Minister, sharp, strategic, determined. He's not just a diplomat, he's the face of a new India. One that's finished being lectured, one that walks into global rooms with confidence. During Trump's presidency, trade agreements, defense talks, everything was on the table. And in the middle of it, Jaishankar stayed firm. He wasn't there to flatter egos. And let me tell you, Trump expects admiration, not resistance. So when Jaishankar refused to back down, it felt personal. Yes, Modi and Trump appeared friendly in public. Think howdy Modi, namaste Trump. But behind those smiling photographs was a different reality. Jaishankar was holding the line. And that firmness Trump read as defiance. There was a specific meeting, high pressure, high stakes. Trump's team wanted concessions. India wanted fairness, respect, independence. Jaishankar said no on tariffs, on technology transfers, on defense purchases. India wasn't going to be pushed around. And Trump didn't just see that as policy resistance. He saw it as a personal rejection. From that moment, the atmosphere changed. Trade deals got blocked. Defense agreements stopped moving. Public smiles, private distance. Eventually, Trump blamed one man for the breakdown. Here's the reality. After 2020, the friendship started to crack publicly too. The U.S. removed India's GSP trade benefits. America first clashed with Atmanirbhar Bharat, a self-reliant India. Washington wanted more access, more control. India said, not at the cost of our independence. And that rubbed people the wrong way, especially on defense. India purchased the S-400 missile system from Russia. The U.S. threatened sanctions. India stood firm. Then came Ukraine. The West wanted condemnation. India chose neutrality. Strategic autonomy wasn't a slogan. It was a red line. This isn't the India of the 1990s. This is confident diplomacy. No more being talked down to. India isn't asking for a seat at the table. It's taking it. This was supposed to strengthen the alliance. What happened instead? A breakdown. The room grew tense, the trust broke, and even though public smiles remained, both governments knew something had shifted. Trump walked away feeling disrespected. Jaishankar walked away standing taller. It wasn't war, it wasn't sanctions, it was ego versus sovereignty. Two forces, two mindsets, and one unforgettable confrontation. Global politics isn't just policy, it's people. It's emotion. Trump didn't like to be challenged. Jaishankar wasn't there to flatter. One wanted a deal, the other demanded respect. So here we are, looking back at a moment that could have strengthened a global alliance, but instead nearly broke it. All because two men, both powerful, both unwavering, collided. Trump fueled by loyalty and ego, Jaishankar powered by principle and strategy. This wasn't about policy failure, it was about one individual refusing to shrink. And that refusal echoed across the world. But let's dig deeper into what this really means, because this story isn't just about Trump and Jaishankar. It's about a changing world order. It's about what happens when rising powers refuse to play by old rules. For decades, American foreign policy worked on a simple formula. America offers partnership. Other countries accept gratefully. America provides security. Other countries provide loyalty. America leads, others follow. This system worked because America was so much more powerful than everyone else. But that world is ending. Today's India has choices. It can buy weapons from Russia, oil from Iran, and technology from Europe. It doesn't need to depend on America for everything. And when you don't depend on someone completely, you don't have to accept whatever they offer. This new confidence isn't just about economics, it's about identity. Modern India sees itself as an ancient civilization that's reclaiming its place in the world. It's not trying to become America or China, it's trying to become the best version of India. This India doesn't see partnership as submission. It sees partnership as mutual benefit. It doesn't see friendship as agreement on everything. It sees friendship as respect for differences. Jaishankar embodies this new thinking. When he sits across from American officials, he's not representing a country that needs American approval. He's representing a country that wants American partnership, but only on equal terms. This drives people like Trump crazy, because Trump's whole approach is based on being the dominant partner, on being the one who sets the terms, on being needed more than he needs others. But India's message is clear. Those days are over, at least with India. Now, some Americans see this as a threat. They see rising India as competition. They see Jaishankar's firmness as ingratitude. They think India should be grateful for American friendship and accept whatever terms America offers. But that's old thinking. Smart Americans understand that a confident India is actually better for America. A weak partner who only says yes isn't really a partner at all. They're just following orders. A strong partner who sometimes says no, who has their own opinions, who brings their own strengths to the relationship, that's a real partner. That's someone who can help America deal with challenges like China's rise and global terrorism. The question is whether American leadership can adapt to this new reality. Can America learn to work with partners instead of subordinates? Can America accept that friendship doesn't mean automatic agreement? Trump's reaction suggests that at least some American leaders aren't ready for this change. They still want the old relationship where America talks and everyone else listens. But this isn't just about America and India. Other countries are watching this story closely. They're learning that it's possible to stand up to American pressure and survive, maybe even thrive. Countries like Brazil, South Africa, and Indonesia are taking notes. They're seeing that India said no to America and didn't get destroyed. They're realizing that they have more options than they thought. This is creating a more multipolar world, a world where power is more spread out, where no single country can dominate everyone else, where relationships are based more on mutual benefit and less on dominance and submission. Some people think this is dangerous. They worry about global instability. They prefer the predictability of American dominance. But others think this is healthy. They believe that a world with more balanced power is more stable in the long run. They think that relationships based on mutual respect are stronger than relationships based on fear. Coming back to the personal level, what can we learn from Jaishankar's example? How can his approach help us in our own lives? First, know your worth. Jaishankar knew what India brought to the relationship. He understood India's strengths and wasn't willing to sell them cheap. Second, be prepared to walk away. Jaishankar was willing to risk Trump's anger rather than accept a bad deal. He understood that some things are more important than keeping everyone happy. Third, stay calm under pressure. Even when Trump was clearly frustrated, Jaishankar remained professional and focused. He didn't get emotional or defensive. Fourth, stick to your principles. Jaishankar had clear red lines and he didn't cross them, even when it would have been easier to compromise. Fifth, think long-term. Jaishankar wasn't just thinking about the immediate meeting. He was thinking about what kind of relationship India wanted with America for the next 50 years. So, where do US-India relations go from here? That depends partly on American leadership and partly on how the world evolves. If America can adapt to the new reality, if it can learn to work with confident partners instead of demanding submissive allies, then the relationship can become stronger than ever. India and America have many shared interests. They both worry about China's rise. They both face terrorism threats. They both believe in democratic values. But if America insists on the old model, if it keeps demanding that India choose between America and everyone else, then the relationship will continue to struggle. The ball is partly in America's court, but India has already made its position clear. It wants partnership, not patronage. It wants cooperation, not control. It wants friendship, not dominance. For other rising powers, India's example provides a playbook. You can stand up to established powers without being aggressive or confrontational. You can protect your interests without making enemies. You can be firm without being rude. The key is to be confident in your own strength, clear about your own interests, and willing to accept the consequences of your choices. Jaishankar showed that you don't have to choose between dignity and diplomacy. You can have both. You just have to be smart about how you do it. In the end, when Trump said it wasn't India that failed America, but one Indian, he revealed something important about himself and about American foreign policy. He revealed that he sees international relations in personal terms, that he expects other leaders to defer to him personally, not just to America as a country. He revealed that he's not comfortable with partners who have their own opinions and their own interests. Most importantly, he revealed that the old model of American dominance is breaking down, and leaders like him don't know how to adapt to the new reality. But the world is changing, whether Trump likes it or not. Countries like India are rising, whether he approves or not, and leaders like Jaishankar are demanding respect, whether he's comfortable with it or not. The question isn't whether this change will happen. It's already happening. The question is whether established powers will adapt gracefully or fight a losing battle against the tide of history. Jaishankar understood this. He positioned India for the world that's coming, not the world that's passing away. And that's why his quiet resistance in that meeting room was actually a moment of historic significance. It was the moment when India announced to the world that it was no longer asking for permission. It was taking its place as a major power. And if others didn't like it, that was their problem to solve. History will remember this moment, not as the day one Indian destroyed US-India relations, but as the day one Indian helped transform them into something more honest, more equal, and ultimately more sustainable. That's the real truth Trump revealed, even though he probably didn't mean to.